just for the sake of double recording because I'm paranoid. Okay, good. I like what we've done here. Then we can do this. Hi everyone, welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lehan, Ashendra Labashe, Miguel Antonio Barragan, bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. That's right, we're kicking it off with Metallica. Why? Because now they are one of the prime investors in Triller. It seems to me that Triller's now gone into the business of being co-promoters of Metallica, or Metallica became a partner with their own promoter because they sold out an arena in boxing. I don't really... Has anybody got any more... Let's just jump right into this because it didn't actually make mainstream news or any news. It was just a tweet from Metallica. So Triller has money because of Metallica giving them money, but now they get money from events, but Metallica's playing at those events. It sounds like they're paying to play and not being really a partner with Triller. Am I the only one confused by this? I start with you, Miguel. Let's just jump right into this.
Oh, no intros in anything, huh? Okay. Well, I mean, it definitely sounds... Oh, sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but some asshole in the bike just went by. Anyway, so what was the question? Yes, it's a little weird. I mean, it definitely does feel like a pay-to-play kind of deal. Like, I mean, I'm not sure... I don't know how much of a part other than just money Metallica has in this play here, but I mean, it definitely is going to keep Triller on the boxing scene a lot longer than we anticipated, because the kind of money that they were spending, we thought, okay, these guys are not going to last long. It's going to be one of those affliction MMA type things where they just spend a shit ton of money hoping to make it back, and it never happens, and then we never hear from them again. But now they got these investors here. Metallica, of course, everybody knows who that is.
Do they?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure what to think about this, honestly.
What's the name of the song, Andrew? I rest my case, Your Honor. And he's in the Bay Area. I'm just giving you a hard time, Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Let's get back to regular boxing. I know you don't want to talk about this crap. How you doing, Andrew?
Very good. They're saying that last year, Triller sold 3 million pay-per-views.
Wow.
Yeah. Over the last year, Triller Combat, Triad Combat, and Fight Club have sold 3 million pay-per-views, making it one of the top-selling combat sports entertainment platforms.
Fun fact, Andrew. Steven Espinosa sold that Gervonta Davis sold well over 250,000 pay-per-views, but he's not releasing the numbers. So we can say anything like Fight Net Radio is the number one podcast and broadcast in boxing history. We are also the number one boxing news website. By the way, go to boxingtonight.io. You can say all that, but the question is it true?
Okay. I don't know. What kind of? I'm just trying to find numbers for the Metallica concert just to see if they released anything about that.
I know that they sold all the tickets there because they played a full hour. I mean, I'd pay to go see Metallica for an hour. I almost did once for an egregious amount of money. They were doing like a Chase cardholder Palladium event that I almost went to, and it was for 45 minutes in the Palladium, and I would have paid it. I mean, shit. Who knows?
How long has this thing even been around? Like, I know Triller, but I mean this Fight Club or whatever the hell, Triad. I mean, have they even been around that long? I mean, what kind of pay-per-views are we talking about here? Like, are they
I don't know. Is Steven Espinosa really in the business of boxing? I mean, it's all relative, right?
No, and seriously, I'm wondering how many of those came off of just the Metallica pay-per-view.
You know? Probably 100% of them.
2.9 million of those could have been the Metallica pay-per-view.
That might be the title. Triller's most successful pay-per-view fixes them for the last 2 years with 2.9 million people adding to the 100,000 views they had from the other five fights. That's hilarious. That is keen insight, Andrew. Keen insight. This is Fight Net Radio. We talk about boxing on this show, and that's kind of boxing related. See, we jumped right into it. I'm listening to the notes from my producer, Sam Navajero, and trying to make this show more about you, the boxing fans. And we appreciate all of you who watch on video. We appreciate all of you who listen on radio or podcasts or whatever you do to listen, or why. I mean, for that matter. I think that's my biggest question. Why? I don't know. But that's not the point. We talk about all the news. We rewind 1 week to where we last left off. Usually at the beginning we have a little family moment where we see how everybody's doing, especially with Omicron. Omicron. The newest character in the Transformers movie that's coming out by Michael Bay next summer. Keep an eye out for it. The invasion of Omicron. I'm sure Prime will take care of it. I was amused by that joke. Go to boxingtonight.io. Follow me and Miguel on YouTube and Instagrams. But more importantly, check out Boxing Tonight and Fight Net Radio on Facebook. Click on the link on our website, or just go to Facebook and type in Fight Net Radio. And that's where Andrew keeps up to date on all the news clippings from around social media and so forth. We are the #1 provider of content for boxing on Facebook. We're actually proud of that because we actually understand the demographics. Sadly, the demographics of people who go to our website and follow our social media don't know how to operate a podcast or a radio. They know how to use radio, and really we're only on in a few markets on radio, so I doubt they'll find us. It's really hard when the core of your audience is above the age of 65. I mean, Andrew, in your life, because you're kind of a technical person, do you get tired of constantly fixing your mom's DVR and video and anything else that breaks at the house for her?
Yeah, she has a down garbage disposal right now. I still need to fix.
I rest my case right here. I was actually going to start the show off because we have a storm. If you don't know, and I'm going to hip you guys all up to your favorite boxing journalists. They all have day jobs, except for Steve Kim. I don't know what he does for a living, but apparently he gets paid for it. And I know Steve, so that's a good joke. But Andrew's day job is really kind of important because we have a storm here. And I was going to start off like I did during the summer of, hey, is it bad that I run my air conditioning at 60 degrees all summer long? If you have been listening long enough, you remember that joke. Today I was going to go with, hey, Andrew, I've been running my heater at 100 degrees for the last 24 hours. Is that a bad thing? I didn't see, Andrew. I went with growth in that moment. I went with growth instead. And now you're into garbage disposals. And when you're done there, can you come down and install one here? I really need one at this place. And now I'm right next to SeaWorld, Andrew, and I know you and the kids love to come to SeaWorld. I'm just saying, got a house right by SeaWorld. All I need is a garbage disposal. Seems like a fair trade.
Very nice.
I don't know what the trade is on that. I'm not going to pay for you to go to SeaWorld or anything. I mean, that's expensive. Somebody's got to pay to abuse those goddamn killer whales that they keep in captivity and forced to breed. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Too soon for Blackfish people? This show is about boxing. We do it each and every week. We rewind the hand of the clock, sort of like John Oliver. Last week tonight, we rewind 1 week. And we start off with the stories where we left off. And we always end on the fights. And fortunately, by not doing the show last night or the night before like we normally do, we try to get them done on Sunday night or Monday night. We actually can talk about Mayweather Inoue as well. So that's like a bonus. See, we get an Inoue insert here as well. That's kind of exciting. We get to add a fight to the end of the show and talk about Mayweather Inoue at the end of the show as I keep restructuring our show for today. We do have a few stories to talk about. We'll dive right into it. We did start right off with Metallica and Triller. But the next one I want to do, this is really becoming problematic because this keeps turning off. My new system for being able to put music on. But this didn't really come up in the news cycles and we didn't talk about it. But let's quickly, joining us live tonight is Tyson Fury for our next story. Oh, good God. Of course now it doesn't work after it turned itself off. There we go. Thank you, Tyson Fury and Madison Square Garden. Does anybody notice that Bob Arum's wife is legitimately 40 years younger than him, and she looks like an old lady? I mean, she legitimately looks like his daughter.
I don't think I've ever seen her. Come to think of it.
I think she's right next to him in that video. You might want to go look at that on YouTube.
I might.
That ain't
do
his daughter?
Is it his daughter?
Are you sure it's not his
daughter?
daughter?
Looks like an old lady too. How the fuck?
Well,
he's
is
90.
He's not exactly spring chicken himself.
He's 90, bro.
Joining us on the show because you asked.
He could have had her at 60 and she still
is
was
none
old.
other than Top Rank Bob. Good evening, gentlemen. It's past my bedtime. You know, when you get to my age, you go to bed at like 5 o'clock. The guy you actually see going to the fights isn't actually me. It's
exactly.
It's a robot. The same people that make the Biden robot are the same people who make robots for me to go to fights. That's why it's always a little sluggish and doesn't react well. I'm usually asleep by like 3 or 4, right after a trip to Denny's for the AARP special. It's a good joke. It's gonna be
Biden has that old people's home look to him. Bob Arum doesn't. I give credit for Bob for the way he looks at 90, but yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, and shame on whoever at Top Rank can't take the company from this man and allow him to just sit down and rest for, 10 minutes of his life before he fucking checks out.
Probably his daughter. Now that I'm seeing her stand right next to her, wouldn't it be great if it was his daughter, like, secretly elderly abusing him on some level? Like, she just forced... Daddy, go do it! Listen, I'm old.
He's 90, man.
I'm 90.
He's 90.
Let me die.
I mean, this guy gets a runny nose, they get scared, right? When you're 90.
Don't you know there's Omicron? Can't we do it in a bubble? Why is everybody not wearing a mask inside this place? What the hell is going on? Are you trying to kill me?
I'm telling you right now, Top Rank offices, they stay at 78 degrees all day.
For those of you who don't get that joke from a heating and air guy, that's a really funny joke because I can barely get my heater above 70 without thinking, it's goddamn hot in here. Somebody open a door. Do thermostats actually work, Andrew? I guess that's my technical question. Are thermostats really telling me the real temperature, for God's sakes? I feel like they're lying to me, Andrew.
Well, it could be lying. It meant location, right? The guy put it on a wall that's staring at a window or some shit. Right? Yeah, it might be lying to you. Right? Yes.
So, yeah, this is like a really old house with the under-house venting. So they put whoever I leased this place for. I do know the guy who I leased this place from. He knew that I was moving in, so he literally put on. How big a unit would be like a 3,000 square foot home, Andrew?
Ton and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
About 1,200 feet max. It's a 2-bedroom house overlooking the bay. It has a ton unit on it. It's a 1-ton unit, Andrew. Like, we actually hang meat in the front room in the offices. And, I don't need a smoker out front. I could just put wood in the front room and turn the heater on, and I can smoke meat in the front room as well. Everything... Plus, we have those giant underground vents, right? Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent because we have
you're getting off.
We have a storm. It's the only time of year that I talk to Andrew when it's really hot.
No, seriously,
really cold.
Seriously though, I've walked into locations, you guys, and thermostats have been put behind refrigerators. They've been put behind copy machines. Oh yeah, Lee. They're like, oh, everyone in the office is cold. Where's the thermostat? In the break room. Go in the break room. It's behind the refrigerator, man. Yeah, dude, it's never gonna shut off. How is it ever gonna? Yeah, everyone's gonna be cold everywhere else. Damn right.
It's broken. It's too cold in here. Okay, you got me.
All right.
You got me. You put it right by a heating unit that's gonna blow hot air at it all day. Good job. Good job. Miguel, how's your work world before we dive in?
Well, pretty monotonous. I mean, I have my desk set up in my room, so it's like room, bed, bed. I mean, desk,
I had to
bed.
separate mine. I
It's,
noticed that I was getting up like you at like 5, 6 in the morning to start my day, and I'm like, I gotta fucking move the bed. I'm
yeah,
gonna start
yeah.
working every day
I wake up
too.
like 6 minutes before my damn shift starts to have just enough time to turn on my computer. Don't even brush my teeth until my first break of the day. So yeah, it's pretty much the same. And then I'm doing overtime right now. We kind of have to do mandatory overtime because of how busy we are around this time of the year.
Of course
So
you
I'm
are.
like, holy smokes. But yeah, it's become kind of a blur these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to January when the world collapses from all the economic horseshit that we're doing.
Mhm.
And then I'm just going to hire you for my customer service and pay you. And
Gotcha.
you can work whatever fucking hours you want in my world. It's the same hours I work.
All right.
And it's good to be the king. It's good to be king.
That's enticing.
Happens. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Now you've had a Metallica story, a catch-up. Go to boxingtonight.io. I guess that leaves nothing except for us to start talking about the news of the week. And we dive right in. We'll be using Boxing Scene. Oh, if you don't know and you're going, but Lee, you have news on your website. No, I built a news aggregate that gets news from mainstream sites.
I think I undersized that unit. I'm just going to say that so I don't get no text messages. Go ahead and keep going.
Wow, I
Yeah.
forgot that your buddies who hang and bang units. I don't know what they're talking about. A ton is 1,200 square feet, Andrew.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you want your house to be too
I don't want
cold
that
and too
cold.
hot.
Needed the disclosure in there.
You know, I thought you were
That's
my
right.
lead, Andrew, and now I
Gotta add a
found out
disclaimer.
you don't think that a ton is too much.
No, that's way undersized, Lee. That's not going to do it for 3,000 square. You said 3,000 square
Yeah,
foot.
well, I
The
was wondering
fuck?
because I know I have a 1-ton unit, and I was wondering what you were going to say, and I'm like, I got a 1-ton unit for it's about 1,200 square feet. About.
All right, there you go. Now you're in your ballpark.
That is
Yes, and
still
don't.
a lot of. Look, Andrew, I built houses.
It doesn't
You know
matter.
this.
You're there.
That's a lot of unit, bro. It's a lot of unit. It's a lot of unit.
Is-
Like, we can't leave it on for long periods of time. And then I'm such a savage during the summer, if you've listened to Fight Net Radio. I set that motherfucker at 68 all summer and just roll in $300 bill from San Diego Gas and Electric all summer long. And I look at it and I smile all summer as everybody tells me, it's hot. I have to crack a window. You live by the beach. You don't need air conditioning. Fuck you. $300 a month in power during the summer.
That's what I was just gonna say too, Lee. I was like, why do you need the AC that much?
No, you need it. You need it. Trust me. When you get used to living in Vegas with the AC on all the damn time,
All the time.
and then I visit my buddies in California, and they're like, "Yeah, just crack the window." I was like, "No, I'm fucking sweating, bro. Like, blast the fucking
that.
AC."
Fuck that. I'm not sweating. And I'm legitimately 4 blocks from the beach. These guys know, and you guys have seen me record shows. My old place was literally on the beach. I moved 4 blocks away. It's sweltering hot 4 blocks away from the beach. Of course I got to run the AC at 68 all summer. Sorry, I digress. This show's about boxing. Hi, everyone. That's your get to know the people behind your show. Hope you found it entertaining. We'll be using Boxing Scene today. Shout out to everybody at Boxing Scene. Tyson Fury and Dillian White. The WBC is ordering the open negotiation period. Yes, we're back at it. Nobody wants to pay for fights. Why? Tyson Fury wants $50 million. Dillian White probably wants a title shot. I don't know. I assume he wants money. I assume that. But since I practice the 4 agreements in my life, I'm not allowed to make assumptions. But I'll start with you. First of all, Miguel, do you assume that Dillian White would be happy with just the fight and maybe 100% to the winner at this point?
Yeah, that's I mean, I'll be going out on a limb, but yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some compensation to some degree or potential compensation would be on the table for Dillian White here. But yeah, again, simply assumption on my part.
You can have a cup of soup. What about you, Andrea?
Yeah, I think they can get a deal with Dillian White right now. Yes, I think Dillian White has been telling his family and friends for so long that the title shot is coming.
Can you imagine that at Christmas? Hold on, Andrew. I just had a shot. Let's play this out because you have real family, Andrew, right? Like you're telling, hey, guess what? I'm really going to this fight and I'm really going to be on TV and the whole thing. Oh, sure, you're really going to be in a big fight. And can you imagine that? You have, like, big family Christmas, like the family rolling their eyes at you when you try to do... I don't have real family at Christmas time. I sit alone in a dark room. So that's why I turn to you, Andrew, for this. Do you think he tells people constantly, I got a title shot, and they're just, sure, motherfucker, shut the fuck up and sit down and eat your potato salad?
Yes, I do think he has that type of relationship with his family and friends, close friends. They've been talking about this title shot now for a few years here. Going on what? We're at least at 2 years, 2.5 years. What are we looking at here?
At least
seems like it's been forever.
How long have you been doing the show, Miguel?
He was chasing Deontay Wilder for a year or so, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I feel like we've done it almost as long as Miguel's been on the show at least, and that's a couple of years now. We're 2-3 years deep with Miguel.
Yeah, it's literally like one of those things where like a girl will like come to like dinner or something like that, right, with her family, and they're like, "Are you married yet? When are you gonna get married?" Like they keep asking the same thing to Dillian White. It's like, Dillian, when are you gonna get the title shot? Are you gonna have it or what? He's like,
his mom
quit asking me that question.
His mom's like, fuck your boss. I fucking hate him. Walks away. They all hate Eddie.
You deserve the title shot already.
They all hate Eddie Hearn.
Oh, my God. Are you guys going to have kids? Oh, and by the way, Dillian, are you going to get that big championship fight, big guy? Huh? You getting that big fight real soon?
When is Eddie Hearn going to pop the question?
When's Eddie going to pop it? Is he promising you lots of money and you're going to have a belt? Huh? Shut the fuck up. That's so great. It looks like
he might sign the contract without even reading it.
Oh, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we'll sign it and then we'll fill in the rest later.
I'm doing the sanitization after the fight.
We'll fill in the rest later.
Just sign here, dude. It's a blank contract. Yeah. What do you mean I'm sanitizing the arena after the fight? What does that clause mean? Well, it means if you lose, you do need to get paid, and we'd like you to do the janitorial work. And, you just signed a 10-year contract to be a slave on the Hearn farm.
Jesus.
Well, I was going to throw it.
You could have just said an employee, bro. I know. See how the whole air just left the building.
Did it? Well, what we know is... Yes, it does. And in this case, I doubt there's a whole lot of money changing everything. Let's turn to some good news. Roy Jones, James Toney, Miguel Cotto, Holly Holm are all heading into the Boxing Hall of Fame. If you're wondering, wow, I didn't even know there was a Boxing Hall of Fame, they don't really know it either. It's kind of made up. There's one in Vegas, too, and they made it up. So people just make this shit up, and they make a Hall of Fame. Theoretically, it's created by the boxing writers, but there aren't really any boxing writers anymore, which is why I think it's funny that there's a Boxing Writers Association. It's not, nobody really writes anymore. They just kind of put out press releases constantly. Jake Donovan's a real writer, or I've met him at least. More than a quarter century after their pound-for-pound showdown, Roy Jones and James Toney will go into the Hall of Fame together. My question is, I think we can all agree that Roy Jones is Hall of Fame caliber, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
All right. Andrew has a Roy Jones Jr. autographed shirt hanging on his wall. Is it still on the wall, Andrew? Or is it in a closet?
Of course it is.
All right. Miguel, I think you've been with us long enough. I think you're ready for your own. Did I give you a Roy Jones shirt yet, Miguel?
No.
All right, you've been with us long enough.
That was my Eddie Hearn. That was my Eddie Hearn deal, Miguel. He gave me a shirt, and I've been doing the show ever since.
Show forever. Like, he doesn't go to fights anymore. He's got to do it for something else. The hope that I might actually get an autograph. I think Miguel's been with us long enough, Andrew. We can give him his own Roy Jones
I feel so honored.
Jones autograph.
I'm going to put it on my wall.
Listen. Now that Roy Jones is going into the fake Hall of Fame, you've got money in the bank, bruh. Money in the bank.
You're seeing,
You can put that bad boy right up on eBay.
You're thinking long term. I could dig it.
I wonder what Roy Jones' autograph is actually worth. But I digress. James Lights Out Tony, big fan of first. He would be the first true boxing champion to go fight in the UFC, as well as I believe my stats are correct on this, Miguel. He would be the first real recognized professional boxer to then get single leg takedown pathetically in his first and only UFC fight because he didn't train for it and actually came in 200 pounds heavier. But I digress. Miguel Cotto, to which Bob Arum says, he's a hell of a fighter. There's actually a story somewhere in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but he's a hell of a fighter. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Is he? I mean, he's good, and he won lots of titles at different weight classes, but it seems awfully crafted for Cotto. He's my question on this year's group. Holly Holm has amazing tits and should be in the Hall of Fame, so there's no question about her. Both a champion in mixed martial arts and in boxing, and a great rack and takes incredible photos. I recommend following her on social media. She loves taking scantily clad photos constantly. Let's get to Miguel Cotto. Andrew, Miguel Cotto, yes or no?
Look, when the fighter himself says he was surprised he got the call, you got to lean towards no. And Cotto, that's how he responded. And if we all know Cotto, he was pretty into himself back in the day. He used to talk in third person in every interview, basically. So it was kind of a surprise seeing him say that. Look, his biggest win is, I'm going to say, the rematch to Margarito. Is that correct, you guys?
Yeah.
Miguel, what would it, maybe a Mosley? What would be his biggest win?
Well, I mean, it has to be his win over Maravilla against, what's his name? Martinez for the middleweight title. I had to say that because, I mean, that's something that, what was it? I think it was Trinidad wasn't able to do, right? Win, like, the lineal middleweight championship. And the fact that he did it by beating Sergio Martinez, right? I might have to say that might be his, like, keystone, like, boom, this is the cherry on top kind of deal.
All right. Well, then it is. Then you say Martinez. And it's actually sad because I was gonna say Margarito was in there with one eye. Martinez was in there with one knee. So it's bad. He doesn't see that, and that's kind of, there is no prime victory for him. That's a victory as he's walking out the door.
That's true. Maybe Mosley then. Maybe Mosley.
It has to be some. Yeah, it would have to be someone younger in his career. I'm guessing. Zab, when you look at it, when you really break down the career, he was very exciting. But this happens in boxing a lot with this Hall of Fame calling. Sometimes guys that take beatings and are really exciting, they get put into this Hall of Fame when in reality they weren't one of the all-time greats. We're talking about this special class, right? That's what the Hall of Fame is supposed to be. Guys that changed the sport or did something so big that it, made a ripple around the world. Everyone talked it. And Cotto never did that. Cotto, half the time, it seemed like Puerto Rico was split on him and Trinidad. He really never got out of Trinidad's shadow, in my opinion. So no, I'm going to lean that. I don't think Cotto should have been into the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's time for our newest segment on the show, as I slowly leak to it. And that is... Hold on, I'm trying to make all the sound effects work just one time. Here we go. It's time for Guess the Net Worth with today's contestant, Miguel Cotto. Come on down. Here's how the game works. Our two boxing analysts will try to guess what Miguel Cotto's net worth is for his career. So I turn to you, Miguel Antonio Barragan. No relationship to the other Miguel, unless the two Miguels are related. Is that possible? Is that possible and we just didn't know it on this show?
Well, I mean, I guess it'd be a shock to me if that is the case, but I'm going to say no on that.
All right. Miguel Antonio Barragan. Miguel Cotto's net worth. You cannot go over the actual amount. You will lose.
All right.
Have you got a number?
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to turn off the music. We're going to go with, I'm going to say 6 million.
6 million. You're going very low. I like that. Andrew Labshay.
I was going to go a lot higher than that. I was going to go at least 30 million. I know he did good with Jay-Z's company right out the door. He had some huge fights with that were on pay-per-view. Floyd Mayweather, Shane Mosley, Judah. I'm hoping he's at 30 million.
30 million. I feel like I want to go with what's closest, even though one of you is over.
Oh, wow.
Or the fact that I know that there's a Family Feud loop that lasts 1 hour on YouTube. That's a fun fact, people. You can get Family Feud's intro played for 1 hour straight. I don't know why anyone would want that, or that it has 500,000 views, which is even crazier. The correct answer, I guess, but Andrew's over. I mean, that's kind of how you play the game if we were doing The Price is Right. He's worth $25 million. Oh. I think he did okay. I really do.
Not bad.
All things considered. And I don't... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he had a lot of huge fights on pay-per-view. I forgot the Manny one. And I want to say him and Manny did almost... they did over 1.5 million buys, didn't they?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Cotto's been in some big fights. So that's good that he's still worth the... good penny there.
Yeah, that was my thing, though. Like, it was such a long time ago. I thought, well, maybe, it's boxing and it, in general is more of a what have you done for me lately kind of sport. So I figured, maybe, after his retirement and the fact that he came off, that loss with, I already forgot his name, his last fight when he dropped one of his belts. I was like, okay, maybe his stock went down after that.
There you go. And there you go. That was fun. Moving forward in our day, Deontay Wilder admits there are mixed feelings. Okay, first of all,
I knew it. Okay.
On fighting again, let me first tell you that I find it really entertaining that he's not taking 6 months off of being in a dark cavern before returning to speaking again, like he did after the second fight, which leads me to believe he's probably, before I even read the King's quotes, which I will do here momentarily, let's just take this on the surface. Can we read anything into him speaking this early after getting beat the fuck up? I start with you, Miguel. Do you find it interesting that this time he's just turning around and right back to being your king?
I think his brain is still scattered. I mean, I think it's still mixed after that ass whooping from Fury. I mean, I still don't think, the dust has settled in his brain. I still don't think he's ready to speak as he shouldn't have. He definitely needed, my assumption is that he needed a little bit more time before he, someone put a mic in front of him. So I'm definitely surprised. Yeah, exactly. The king of his kingdom or whatever.
Andrew, do you read anything into his early public appearances at all before I read his amazing quotes?
No, I just trying to strike it while he still has some left in the tank, Lee.
I think that's exactly what it is. He's going to squeeze another fight. It's mixed feelings because ultimately I have accomplished all my goals in this sport. I want to correct every line in this already because that first line is such bullshit. What goal was it that you had? Some kind of Don King, hinky fucking bullshit?
No, you got to keep reading. No, you got to keep reading. He explains.
I told my daughter when she was 1 that I'd be champion and I'd be able to support her beyond belief. Well, yeah, they live in style, I guess, in Tuscaloosa, Mississippi. I've done the things I promised my daughter. There are lots of things that I have accomplished that I feel. I don't have to prove anything to anyone because I've already proven it to myself. Okay. Should I push forward? Question mark. Should I give it one more time? Question mark. Or should I just retire and focus on other things that I already have? Other things that I want to get into? Question mark. What could he... Okay, I want to stop right there. What... I feel like I need to play the game show music. Hold on. New game show. What will Deontay Wilder do for a job outside of boxing? Hello, everybody. This is Mauro Ranallo, your host. For What Will They Do Outside of Boxing? You know, the game show where you can go into murder, you can go into crime. Some boxers just into drugs. Today's contestant is Deontay Wilder. And remember, I have depression, so watch my Showtime special. I start with you, Miguel Antonio Barragan. What will Deontay Wilder do if not boxing as a profession?
That is a good one. Damn, what the hell? What other thing can't he do? Jesus Christ.
I know the correct answer. I was just handed it to me by Lee Honish. He gave me the correct answer.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to pass it to
10
Andrew.
seconds on the clock.
I'm gonna have to pass it to Andrew.
Wow.
I have no fucking clue.
All right, Andrew Labouche. Did you know I'm Mauro Ranallo and I have depression? Just checking. What will Deontay Wilder do if not box as a profession?
Well, I sent you guys the answer, and it's already happening.
He locked in his answer.
Oh.
And the answer is... I'm putting it on the screen for the video, people. It's making perfume!
Yes.
Ooh,
What?
strong
Daddy.
job, Andrew. And you get bonus points from the judges. But since Lee is the ultimate judge on the show, I'm going to open it now. The correct answer is be irrelevant. Irrelevant. Thanks for playing the game, everybody, and remember to visit our website.
I wonder what the cologne smells like. Does it smell?
This
Does it smell like
Irrelevance.
the,
It smells
the canvas?
like irrelevance.
It smells like the canvas because that's where he spent a lot of time in that fucking Fury fight.
Oh.
It smells like they're going to be selling it outside of the
It
fight.
smells like a loser.
Oh,
Loser. It
there's
smells
gonna
like
be bootleg
sweat
bottles
and
outside, like
tears.
the
It
bootleg
smells
TV.
like
Oh.
tears.
Oh.
And oh my God.
And you didn't think the
Okay,
show was gonna
listen.
be funny today, Andrew.
Listen, it's a guys and girls perfume cologne. I don't know how you say it.
It's unisex.
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
unisex,
the world
yes.
needs that.
Yes,
completely.
and it's him and his wife that are the models. They're modeling for it, and yeah, some real. I try to find the pictures of them too.
They are not pretty people.
It might be tears because almost every shot that they put out, their eyes are closed. So it could be tears, Lee. You might be onto something there.
She's
But this
thinking,
is
I
the
can't
future.
believe that I'm married to a loser, and he's thinking, I can't believe I married her before I was a champion.
Look, yeah, the Charlos got into the movie and music industry. They have a
they're not really
studio.
good at boxing.
You have Spence, who's a farmer. He got into farming. Who else
I thought that was a
I
joke,
think
and I realized you were
Swift
correct.
Garcia's
and I
got
almost did
like
a
some
spit
clothing
take.
or something.
That's hilarious.
Danny Garcia is trying to bring out a Tony Montana Scarface themed clothing line. It's very sad. Could only imagine how many millions he's dumped into that. Yeah, these PBC guys, yeah, they definitely are trying to bubble their money. Don't know how many are taking the right path, but they're definitely trying.
Yeah, you would think you like maybe invested in something that's more proven, like open up a McDonald's or some shit, something that's pretty much guaranteed to make some money, not like, think of some new Rockaware clothing line or some shit.
Yeah, some leopard or leopard print silk t-shirts, Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Oh my God. The fans are brutal below this unboxing scene.
Oh.
Tony Green writes, ha 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 ha. What have you even spouted here, son? Your boxing IQ is questionable and your general IQ is definitely piss poor. Those scary races are everywhere. Fuck's sake, grow a pair and stop feeding into fake narrative of white supremacists being everywhere. A black man wouldn't have been voted into office if America was so.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
You always got to take it there.
Yeah, they always do. Damn comment.
Moving forward, Canelo's trainer says no weight restrictions placed on Makabu. For those of you who don't know, the biggest boxing star, the biggest pay-per-view draw, the biggest everything, and generally he seems fairly normal. I mean, he hasn't done anything too stupid yet with his money, other than, still living in Mexico, which is fascinating to me. A few weeks ago, his manager and trainer, Eddie Reynoso, submitted an application for Cruiserweight Champion Makabu. It's for real. We're actually going to follow up with that story shortly because the WBC president does get involved. That's why I'm choking on this. Is he out of his fucking mind not doing the weight restriction shit here and let's just go. Let's just do it. Lock it up. I start with you, Andrew Labouche. Just do it. Fuck the weight restriction, and Makabu is so beneath Canelo that I don't give a fuck. I'll fight him in his weight class.
There's bigger plans for Saul Alvarez, I believe. This is no more than a test to see if he can go to cruiserweight and maybe higher. He believes a lot in his skills and his defense, and I don't think he's really worried about the weight. So that's about that.
All right. Miguel, on a somber note, that seemed like a real answer, and that's not really what the show's about. But all right. Miguel, do you have a real answer too?
You fucking serious, man?
Oh, jeez.
I don't think that was meant for me. I'm going to say that was a kid. Yeah. Normally, I would think that was for me, and it was recorded, which makes it amusing. And makes me kind of chuckle thinking Andrew was like,
it's a fucking war zone out there. Jesus.
Of all the comments I've ever made on the show, Andrew's never responded to. For anybody listening going, no, Andrew meant that for you. I wish he did. Let me tell you how great the show would be if Andrew, after every time I do something stupid, he goes, are you fucking serious? I would have it on a loop already, and I'd be playing it before say it.
Hold on.
He's losing his shit over his kids, and you get to listen to it live. Miguel, while that's happening, Makabu, no weight restrictions, biting off more than he could chew, or is it all part of what I think we're laying the groundwork for a Usyk Canelo heavyweight championship fight, which is what this all looks like to me. Because
two non-heavyweights going for the
already
heavyweight
said,
title.
I'll come down to cruiserweight and kick your ass. No question. I got no problems with it. I'll drop the weight tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that. I don't know, even know where to start. So it doesn't. I don't really feel like Makabu is going to be an actual threat. So I'm sure Canelo's team doesn't feel that either. So they're thinking, you know what, fuck that. He can come in whatever weight he wants to come in after. We make weight as long as he makes weight the way we're supposed to, the contracted weight. Then he can gain as much as he wants after that. So I think they're that confident that he's that he's not on Canelo's level or even close to it, that they don't really give a shit about the weight. He did it. If I'm not mistaken, he did it with others with. I think Kovalev, I don't remember specifically, but when you can tell like when he thinks the guy's a legitimate threat, and then he'll put those restrictions. And I wouldn't be surprised if down the line a fight with him and Usyk happens, and then there's some sort of weight restriction at that point. But right now, no. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he doesn't feel like Makabu is on his level. So he's like, man, let him come in at whatever weight he wants.
All right, which takes us to our new long-standing game show that's now going to happen just for Miguel. So let's play it with just Miguel. Let's bring back our host, Mauro Ranallo. Mauro, go ahead. Let's play the game. Miguel Antonio Barragan, did Andrew Labouche kill one of his children during that story? Because they are definitely quiet again.
and real fast. I'm going to say no, although he did probably took him to the emergency room. But no, they're still alive.
No, you know what stage of life we're in right now?
No.
My daughter's 2, and it's the whole don't give her attention and she won't cry method.
Yeah, that's
and that don't work with Natalia, man.
Just let them cry and they'll sleep through the night. Yeah, well, I won't either, asshole.
She takes it to another level, and she's gonna get somebody's attention.
She's the baby. She's the baby girl. She's the baby. Andrew, what are you doing? So many children. So many children. So many sizes and shapes. Jake Paul, Tyrone Woodley 2 is now on the table. Vada will not be involved in the contest, said Tyrone Woodley. Cool. I'm going to start slamming steroids tomorrow.
Right? What the fuck?
Yep.
I feel like I'm now doing Saturday Night Live bits with these stories. I don't even need to read the story. Just read the title and then do like a funny quip and then go, all right, you guys do the serious part. But seriously, in Tyrone's head, I mentally heard about clenbuterol from this show, Fight Net Radio, and I saw the results of its host. I don't know if I'm the host or co-host, to be honest. But hey, Tyrone, thumbs up. If there's no VADA testing, which they don't do for amateur MMA in Nevada, yeah, bro. Yeah! Start the cycle tomorrow. Go in jacked up like a fucking monster and fucking tear his head off. Just put him into a corner and maul him. I don't understand this no VADA thing, but then again, it's not a real fight, first of all. Secondly, Tyrone came awfully close to winning the first one, which takes us to the third point. Doesn't that mean Jake Paul can take steroids and shit too? I mean, I could be completely out of line in my guessing because it already looks like he's been doing them for quite some time. I start with you this time, Miguel, because this, I guess, is kind of an MMA adjacent story. Is there any impact to the VADA thing or the fact that Paul versus Woodley 2 is happening? And I'm wondering, is it Triller and will Metallica be playing so that they can have another 2.9 million buys?
Well, to answer that last one, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's going to be playing. I don't know if it's going to be Metallica, but we can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be some, recording artist or some band playing to some degree during the pay-per-view. Number 2, I don't remember their previous fight, if there was the case or not, but I could have sworn they had some sort of testing. I don't know if it was VADA or USADA, but they had somebody tested. I don't know. I mean, truthfully, I think it's more of like, look, this is kind of a last minute thing, we got to swap out Fury for Woodley. One of these guys is probably on the juice, during their all fucking, off season or whatever, right? So they're like, all right, let's not test them because we don't want to cancel this fight too. So let's just leave it. No VADA testing. Fuck it, come in with whatever you're juicing on now. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the big deal is. I mean, they tested him last time, everything was fine. I'm not really looking forward to this rematch. I can anticipate Woodley disappointing MMA fans once again. But I mean, we'll see how it goes, I guess. But I'm not surprised that this is not going to be, VADA tested.
Wait, the game show music's back. Maro's walking into the room. That's right. It's time for our newest game show. Does Andrew even care about this story? With your guest playing today, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Miguel, I have depression. Did you watch my special?
It's bipolar.
Whatever! I'm the bipolar depressed rock and roller! I keep forgetting to get mine confused with his. You know how that goes with mental health issues.
Yeah.
So, will Andrew even want to comment on this story? No answer?
I'm looking at my job for tomorrow, Lee.
Rest my case, Your Honor. Bob Aram says, Crawford is in a pay-per-view draw. We've lost money on every fight. Fuck him. Joining us right now is the real Bob Aram with an actual comment about Crawford and him not closing. And what do you have to say about it, real Bob?
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
I've got it all working today, kids. I've got it all working. We're having a fine Fight Net Radio today where all the tech is just cruising right along. Well, okay, I won't shut the fuck up, and I am a prick. So what did Big Bob say? Yes, I'll do it in the voice because I know that's what you guys want. Well, I'm pretty sure the decision is made already. You know, Bob couldn't. Oh, it's actually. Is this him saying it? Yeah, no, it's actually Terrence Crawford. Okay, so here's Bob's comment. Sorry, forgive me, everyone. Terrence Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world today. He's tremendously skilled. Unfortunately, he hasn't made me a goddamn dime. He really did say that. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to show to be a fighter that is a draw on pay-per-view or whatever reason. Or whatever reason. Wow, why don't you just say, shut the fuck up, you prick. You don't draw me a dime. I just kept you around for credibility. Jesus Christ. So we put him in the best fights that we can, and unfortunately we've lost money on every single fucking fight. They left out the expletive. I'm sure he said fucking fight. Crawford keeps insisting, and I understand his point of view. I'm the best. I should be paid like the best. Guess what? You don't make any money, you prick. Is anybody surprised that Bob here at the end is acting like a really angry girlfriend on the way out the door? Like, I paid for you, bitch. I mean, you're going to go with him? I mean, I get it. He knows jiu-jitsu and he owns his own gym, but you're going with him, bitch? That felt very personal on a strange level. I should probably put whatever. I start with you this time, Andrew. Surprised that the 90-year-old is a little jilted at the end of the relationship?
No, we've seen this with Bob in the last few weeks here. Number of weeks, though, to be honest with you. He's been on a tear like this since, I think, the Tyson Fury fight. So, no, I'm not surprised at all. And look, this is not the first time that he's talked about Terrence Crawford not making him any money. We've seen them try Crawford on pay-per-view before, on regular pay-per-view. Wasn't this ESPN plus stuff that they try to blame on these numbers on, and he just hasn't performed well. I don't really know where Terrence Crawford is, at 34, and he is 34 years old now. At 34 years of age, time's ticking on him, and I think Bob Arum kind of knows that too.
Okay, Miguel, Antonio Barragan. And what do you think?
I mean, I'm not surprised that he's kind of acting in this fashion.
No, you didn't lose us. You might have lost us, but we didn't lose you. Continue.
I mean, I'm not surprised that he acts this way. It is kind of one of those butthurt type of deals, like, well, fuck you, I don't want you anyway, kind of deal went up with Crawford on the way out. But I mean, he said this prior to him actually leaving, so it wasn't like it was a humongous secret that Crawford just wasn't pulling in the kind of numbers that Arum was hoping for. But I mean, it does sound like he's a little bit butthurt. It could be. I mean, ultimately, when it comes to like fight fans and us, that we want to see the best fight the best, and when they're not fighting the best, there's only so much interest we can put into that. And unfortunately, it took him this long to fight someone worth fighting, I guess, in the welterweight division with Porter. I mean, some of his past guys with Brook and Khan, it's like, all right, come on now, let's put him against some of these other guys. And I can't put all the blame on them because it does take a lot of cooperation from PBC guys as well. But I mean, this is exactly what happens with. It's just one of the unfortunate nature of the beasts, right? It's just how the sport is. When you can't get the other side to cooperate, we kind of have a guy kind of like lingering around fighting a lesser competition. So I mean, it's not a shocker that he isn't the moneymaker that Arum wanted him to be, but it certainly does suck when your former fucking promoter is talking mad shit about you.
Honestly, note to Sam Navajero, our producer, and yes, I'm still working on my Australian Sam. Yeah. You should have never brought up the Cyndi Lauper song or anything else. You just know that I'm going to double down on those things. I just want to make that note. We do have one final comment from Bob. I was able to ask him a question, which is, you know what, Terrence Crawford should be paid, Bob. Why aren't you paying him?
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
See, it seems to be his answer for all fighters getting paid. It works out really well.
Did Mike Carpenter wish him a happy birthday too, and he answered him the exact same thing?
Wait, hold on, I gotta cue it up. Let's try it. Let's try it and see if it works, shall we?
Sure.
Hey, Bob, happy birthday.
Fuck up, you little prick.
Okay, it's about the same.
Close enough, yeah.
Hey, Andrew, did you get it all fixed over there?
No, I think the headphone is broken, so I had to remove it. It's the only way I can hear you guys.
Okay. Well, you sound okay to us, and that's really
Okay.
what's important. Moving forward, Bob Arum. Hopefully Fury and Usyk win their bouts. Then in September they can fight. Bob Arum had some quotes about this, and yes, any chance for me to do Bob Arum seems to be a big hit and a ratings boom for the show. So let's see what Bob said on this crazy account. Everybody, sorry. I lost him. I lost Top Rank Bob there all the way. Listen, everybody I think on our side wants him to fight Usyk. It's an easy fight for fuck's sake. But Usyk is obligated to fight Joshua, who's got a rematch clause, and I'm a cheap bastard, and I don't want to pay step-aside money, blah, 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 blah. And now there's Dillian White. Who the fuck is Dillian White? Wasn't he sweeping up over at Hearn's place the last time I was out there? So my hope is that Usyk fights Joshua and Tyson fights White, and hopefully Usyk wins, and hopefully Tyson wins. Well, I mean, I know Tyson's going to win, but he's got to. I'd like to see him fight Dillian White in the UK. He's such a hard voice on my throat. All right. Let's get back to where we were before now that Bob's entered the picture. He's now talking about step-aside money. Let these dumb fuckers go fight their fights and then let them fight in September. It seemed more plausible. I'll start with you this time. Andrew Labouche, seem more plausible to you this time?
That they both win. And it doesn't. I still haven't seen Anthony Joshua come out and announce who he's going to be training with for this rematch. We know that these rematches have a deadline on them if there's not an injury involved. So unless Joshua and them are going to be coming up a fake injury here in the gym here soon to make this date a little longer, I don't think Usyk Joshua is going to happen. I think everyone knows it. It's just about the coming to agreement on the money. And because Joshua has already put himself out there so much that he does not want the fight, it's going to be hard to come to an agreement because I think they're going to lowball these guys all the way, knowing that they really don't have another option.
Miguel.
Yeah, it seems pretty plausible. I mean, like, have we actually, or has Joshua already announced who he's going to be training with? I don't think we've even got that far. Have we?
No.
Yeah, that in itself is going to delay matters even further, I have to assume. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a weird circumstance, like the fact that Arum is saying, like, hopefully, both of these guys, win their bouts, Usyk and Fury, and we have that. When a few months ago it was like, oh, hopefully it's AJ who wins this fucking fight. I mean, can you imagine? Like, I guess the worst case scenario is AJ actually winning and then still getting the Fury and fucking AJ fight, which seems kind of weird. But I don't know. It's just I'm not sure how soon this fight's going to happen because we haven't heard a damn peep from AJ.
It's amazing that at 90 years old, he wants to wait for anything.
Yeah.
He's still waiting to come. What do you want in the studio? Let me have the microphone. I want to play another game. Shut up, Morrow. All right, joining us on the show for yet another game is Mauro Ranallo. Take it away, Mauro. Hi, everybody. It's the bipolar rock and roller. Thanks for the correction, boys. Today's game show is, what disease will Anthony Joshua have to get out of the fight? Today, our two contestants are tasked with picking out what disease or injury will get Anthony Joshua out of the fight. My name's Mauro Ranallo, and let's turn it over to our two contestants. He works during the day sweating his balls off and possibly risking his life to support 164 children. Andrew Labouche, how do you feel? What disease or injury will Anthony Joshua contract to get out of this fight?
Yeah, I don't know, Lee. Probably inside the gym.
Miguel Antonio Barragon, what do you select?
Well, he won't contract or injure himself. However, the Omicron variant will somehow, it'll, yes, right? It's going to somehow prevent it. Either it's like international travel or some bullshit like that. I have to go with that. So no one's going to catch anything. No one's going to get the AIDS. However, it will still be a problem.
I didn't do your intro correctly. He lives alone. He lives at home. He lives with his family still. He does customer service. Joining us on the show is Miguel Antonio Barragan. There you go.
Thank you for the proper intro.
Just so you don't feel that I took fun.
Right.
He's reckless. He's stupid. He jumps off of buildings head first. Lee, how do you pick it? Wow. And if you're wondering, am I self-effacing as I am to my two wonderful friends and co-hosts? Yes, I am. I beat up on myself more than anyone else. Thank you, Morrow, for that lovely introduction. I'm going to pick AIDS as I always do in these situations. Sure, it's a little strong, but I like it as a default answer always. Well, tune in to the next Fight Net Radio to find out whether or not we have an answer to that game. I'm liking this. How many more of these do I have to do before I get a Sam Navajero? Yeah, you got to stop that bit with the Family Feud music. You just went too far. Like the third one, the fourth one. Where are you at on that, Lee? Bob Aram says Lomachenko has no issues traveling to Australia for Gambosos. Shocker. Do I even need to read these quotes? Fuck, of course I do. Loma's number one with the WBC, the WBO, the IBF, the ABC, and the PDQ. For fuck's sake, I can put him on a boat and he'll be there in no time. We used to have a guy from Australia. We used to sail him over all the time. I think it will happen. Kambosos will make a voluntary defense against Lomachenko in Australia. I've promoted fights in Australia. Took forever. I took a sailing ship. I think it was a clipper ship. Took forever, but I'm glad I went. And then I stayed there for like 6 years. Got married, got divorced, had 4 kids, came home. Does anybody think Kambosos really wants to fight Lomachenko? I start with you, Andrew Labouche. Aram says Lomachenko has no issues. By the way, I have no issues fighting Kambosos either if we want to toss a hat into the mix. I mean, I love it when people think or they don't have issues or, yeah, sure, I'll do it. You can say all the shit you want until you put your name on a contract, asshole. I mean, what do you think, Andrew? Is there a reality with Lomachenko traveling by boat or hot air balloon to Australia?
Yes, I do. Listen, Lomachenko, he can travel anywhere. He's going to sell tickets known around the globe. Kambosos should be very hot in Australia right now. So I think this fight is doable. Will it be Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao size crowd? I can't guarantee that, but I really don't know because we haven't seen them have a press conference yet, them even announce anything to see really the magnitude of what this matchup is going to mean to Australia for the future of Kambosos. But it's a great fight. I don't see why they wouldn't do it. If Lopez is really serious about leaving the division, I think Kambosos, I think Lomachenko has every right to get the fight with Kambosos because, in all honesty, Lopez was supposed to give him a rematch, and he kind of punked out on that one.
Okay. Miguel.
The naive fan in me says yes. When these boxers say at some point in their careers, oh, I'll fight anybody, I'll defend the belts, yeah, et cetera, and then they get the belts and then their tune changes. It's happened several times before. It's happened, if I want to say my recent memory, Keith Thurman. So it just, that happens, So yes, the naive fan in me says, you know what? Kambosos is the kind of dude who says, no, fuck this, dude. Yes, we're going to defend the belts, especially if you come to my country. And Lomachenko is like, yeah, he wants his belts back. So, I'm optimistic of the potential of this fight actually taking place, specifically if Lomachenko does go to Australia, because as Andrew was saying, Lomachenko is pretty popular, like at least outside of the U.S. He's popular here, but a global name. And then, specifically in Australia with Kambosos just beating Lopez. So, I mean, I think it's a hot ticket. I think they need to strike while the iron's hot and get the fight going. If everybody cooperates and everybody signs the dotted line, like you said, Lee, they can make it happen. And it seems, though, at least right now, it might be premature, but it seems that both parties are extremely interested in making the fight happen. So I'm optimistic. I feel like it is gonna, but again, history tends to repeat itself. Once these guys have the belts, they want to keep them for as long as they possibly can, and their tune changes from what they were saying earlier about them fighting everybody. They tend to kind of, ease up on the pedal there.
It's time for our newest game show for Andrew Labouche. Will Miguel say it's a good scrap? Andrew, will he say it's a good scrap? I feel like he ate his microphone or a kid killed him. I don't know what happened on Andrew's mic, but that was a great setup.
That was real good.
Andrew? Yes, Miguel will say it'll be a good scrap.
Yes.
Sorry, I put you guys on.
Everything. All right, let's see. Miguel. Mauro Ranallo here. Will it be a good scrap?
When the fight is signed, I believe that's when I can officially say my catchphrase. Until then, I'm not going to say it because the fight isn't even happening yet. But until then, I'll have to find out then when the fight is signed.
All right, I'm officially retiring Mauro for the rest of the show. Mayweather, they don't want to see Tank win because they feel it's like beating me.
What?
Wow. Floyd, I don't even know how you did this, but let's see what completely arrogant and insane comments you have. We all know Tank box circles around that guy. No, we don't. Was the guy very aggressive? Did he land some big shots? Yes, on both accounts, actually. It's all about exciting fight. He did that, but he clearly got beat. He didn't win. He didn't win. I'm going to check with Miguel, who double checks all these things, because he didn't win is grammatically incorrect, correct?
Yes, it is correct that it is grammatically incorrect.
It needs an S,
knew,
right?
He knew it,
comma, he didn't
past
win.
tense, maybe he knew or something.
He didn't win. I like.
Yeah, that'll work as well, but I mean, he's wrong either way.
And then he doubles down on it. He didn't win, comma. And me just being in the fight game, they don't want to see Tank win because they feel like it's beaten me because I dominated the fight game for so long. These same writers, it's the writers. Oh, it's us. It's the three of us.
Oh, the media.
They praise Canelo. I don't think you listen to our show, so you can rule us out. It's about the only thing we don't praise. He didn't win. No, he didn't win at all. He said it again in the same interview. He didn't win.
I'm going to say something, and then you can continue. I think Floyd thinks about Canelo more than Canelo thinks about Floyd.
No
Go ahead, Lee.
Shit, right? I didn't put the story up, but even Canelo thought that he was being talked about so much. This is a true story, and I just didn't put the story up to the point where Canelo did a FaceTime with Floyd going, fucking fight me. And Floyd did the I'm retired bullshit, right? Or we're certainly not talking about enough money to make me want to do it.
It's kind of sad that is Floyd's biggest win. It really is turning into the kid they called the paper champ, the kid they said didn't deserve to be in the ring with him. As much as Floyd talks about Saul Alvarez, if we really step back and look at it, it's almost the same as when Azuma Nelson fought Salvador Sanchez, right? Sanchez beat Nelson, but it was almost as if Nelson walked away a winner anyways because he had went 12 rounds. Or, you know what? It might have been 15 rounds.
I think it was. And I think it was on short notice, too, because it was a different opponent that was supposed to be in there, and they ended up getting Azuma Nelson instead, and he still lasted as long as he did.
Not only is he obsessed with it,
I think at a certain point, they need to bring that up to Floyd. Like, dude, you fought a very young Saul Alvarez, very green, 23 years old, no gold Olympic winner, bronze Olympic winner, not even in the Olympics. Shut the fuck up. He went 12 rounds with you. Shut up. It ain't that big of a win. Seriously? You wouldn't fucking fight Saul Alvarez at 26, 29. No way. So it just, at some point, people need to start firing back at Floyd. He loves bringing up the Canelo win. I swear to God. And you know what it's about. It's because how good Saul Alvarez is now. Because they weren't talking about that shit back then.
Agreed.
He was nothing more but a WBC freaking Jose Suleiman baby. That's what they all said him and Chavez Jr. were. These guys were given WBC titles. Now today, it's Floyd's biggest win.
Well, before I turn it over to Miguel for his comments, he doubles down on being a racist as well. And if Tank really would have lost that fight, I would say he lost. And of course, wow, this is strong. I would have said he lost, period. And of course, it's California. This is Mexico. Woof. So, I mean, he's fighting, if you don't fight in Mexico, this is the closest place. No, it's not. Mexico would be Mexico. I'm pretty sure, because I live in San Diego, which is even closer than where you were for that fight, to be brutally honest. This is the closest place. No, it's not. Texas and California is like fighting in Mexico. No, it's not. Basically, period. But Cruz is a tough competitor. Very, very tough competitor. Tank did exactly what I asked him to do. Turn him, box him, turn him, make him miss, make him pay. That's what he did. All right. I'm going to toss in the racist comments. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of Hispanics, and I am in San Diego.
Americans,
Yeah, it's what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Were you co-captioning the event in Spanish? Or like, what are you even talking about? Dipshit. Like, the people paying for the front row, big row seats didn't look like they were from Mexico, dude. They looked like they were from L.A. Like, what are you talking about? They look like they were from the West Side. They look like sports figures. Miguel, go ahead. I don't want to get off on a tangent about his stupid ass comments. First of all, because you travel to Mexico more frequently than me, and I do live right by the border, is California Mexico? Did we lose a war that I'm unaware of?
No, not anymore. It's not.
Hold on. Is New Mexico, which actually has the word Mexico in it, in Mexico?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And lastly, you go to Texas for fights. Is Texas, with those big dumbass white people, is that Mexico?
No, far from it.
Okay. Just checking, because apparently Floyd has a different geography teacher than me. Please go ahead and comment on all of this insanity for me.
I mean, I don't know what he's trying to imply. The judges,
they're all Mexican?
Zachary Young, those guys. That doesn't sound like they're Mexican. Max DeLuca, they don't sound like they're fucking Mexican. So I don't doubt they're the ones that ultimately judge the fight. I don't know what the hell the fans have anything to do with it, but it's like regardless, whatever it is he's trying to imply here, we know first and foremost, he says, if Tank would have lost, I would have said he lost. No, you wouldn't. Come on, like, let's be real here. He's not going to fucking admit it. He's going to know that, this fight was a lot closer than they would have liked, and they got away with the victory, so cool, we'll take it, and no rematch. That's one thing. Number two, Floyd consistently bringing up Canelo, which happens, far too often. I've seen Twitter posts and Instagram posts with fans trying to defend Mayweather, stating that the media is asking him about Canelo, when a lot of the times they're not asking him about him. He just brings it up out of fucking nowhere. Most recently, talking about steroid allegations and whatnot. So, I mean, he beat him years ago. You would think that, like, the bitter taste of a loss in Canelo's mouth would have him talking about Floyd more frequently, but it appears as though somehow Canelo is like living rent free in Mayweather's mind, like all the fucking time. Maybe it's killing Floyd that not only is he's not the star of boxing anymore, neither is one of his pupils. It's Canelo still, even though he beat Canelo. So I even saw something recently about was a Tank wearing the No Boxing No Life boxing gloves that Floyd wasn't too crazy about. So who the fuck knows? They seem to have this weird obsession with Canelo. They just can't seem to let him go, and he's living rent free in their minds. But in regards to the fight, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure. The way they're making Gervonta seem as if he's this like mega star that no one can touch, like as far as popularity and ticket sales and pay-per-view sales, and they want to make
they don't release because
the ones they don't release.
Espinosa,
Yes,
per his quote, let me quote Espinosa directly.
I
We just don't release those numbers because people
some things
get
just shouldn't be
paid
disclosed
based on those numbers. That was his reasoning.
Yes,
People's incomes are based on the numbers of views, so why would we release them publicly? So it wouldn't be fraud, asshole? I mean...
Yeah. You best believe if there were crazy numbers, they absolutely would release them, even if it meant someone's, income or someone's pay or salary or, purse. Yes, they're going to do that. They're like, wow, this guy's crazy, right? He's made bank in this fight.
The
but
rumor is 100,000, for God's sake.
Yes, right, barely or something like that.
Yeah.
So if... they want to make it seem like he's some fucking superstar, and they want to use that as like some sort of barrier between him, Gervonta, and the other lightweights in the division, as if some of these other guys are fighting are top stars like Rolando Romero or fucking Cruz. It's like, so worst case scenario, none of these guys become megastars like you, Tank. You're gonna fight none of them then? Is that what's gonna happen? You're gonna avoid every single one of them because they can't sell pay-per-views or they can't sell tickets the way you can. They're not big enough stars. So yeah, we're just going to take, lesser risk fighters because they're not stars either. Like it seems they're contradicting one another and it sounds ridiculous as shit. But I mean, when we read the stuff from Floyd, I mean, it's hard to read as it is because of his fucking English. But goddamn, it sounds redundant as hell because they continue to go back and forth between him being such a star and how he whooped Canelo's ass.
He urbaned it up for the interview, obviously, because he can be very articulate when he wants to be. He just chose to be street for the interview. But because I know the next story, the reason for the resurgent in this weight class has nothing to do with Gervonta Davis or Floyd Mayweather or the fact that everybody in that weight class seems to be fighting people in the top 10. Guess who it really is? It's because of Mr. Suleiman. The reality is the franchise designation has given the lightweights unbelievable activity. What a fucking arrogant, dumb son of a... It's that T-shirt we put on them and the gold medallion. It gives them special powers, and then they're superheroes.
It gives them activity.
What the fuck?
Everything about the WBC seems cheap now, starting with that T-shirt.
Oh my God!
It's
and now he's taking credit for the lightweight division blowing up and his T-shirts.
Yeah, no, that man's a joke. You shouldn't even really put him on the air too much.
Yeah, but this is such a preposterous statement that the president of a made-up belt is taking credit for the resurgence in the lightweights. I don't want to break it to anybody. The reason the lightweights are fighting like that, they want to get paid. They took a year off from COVID. They don't have any choice.
PBC, they're not PBC. Let's
okay.
I mean, call it for what it is. These are real fighters, Lee. Some of these guys, they are from that old school. They want to be legends like the guys before them. Yes, they all want to make money. We get that. And they are making money. But before the money side, it used to be about legacy. It used to be about pride for a lot of these fighters, right? They just wanted to prove that they were the best. No, the PBC don't want to prove that shit. They just want to make money. They're all in it for money. And that's totally fine. That's why I don't watch them, and they can have their own little fan base off in the corner there and lie about their earnings, lie about their pay-per-view numbers, lie about their status in boxing. That's fine. But the lightweights have real hitters, man. These are guys that are fighting for real fight companies that are out here to make legends. That's the difference between welterweights and lightweights.
Miguel.
I mean, to some degree, I don't really want to listen to a damn thing he says, but I want to hear his logic. I want to be,
okay.
I want to empty my cup and I want to
is.
hear what, yes, because he's basically like, as far as I understand it, before we actually read the article, he's giving himself and the WBC, specifically the franchise championship, credibility for this. So basically, like, this is the reason why the lightweight division is so hot. I don't know how he came to that conclusion, but I want to hear this.
Okay. The WBC introduced a new concept. The problem is people don't try to analyze and understand something.
Okay.
The reality is the franchise designation is giving the lightweight division unbelievable activity. It is now leading to Kambosos and Haney. Okay. A great showdown. I'm very proud of them both. What?
So it couldn't have happened without the franchise
confusion.
belt, is that what you're saying?
Of course it causes confusion
Yeah.
because everybody has resistance to change. We had Lomachenko Lopez Kambosos, Haney Gamboa, Haney Linares, Garcia Campbell. The Haney Diaz was a tremendous fight. I will take that route. Great activity we're seeing in the best boxing division, which is lightweight. To their credit, Kambosos Haney have expressed a willingness to settle the matter in the ring. No shit, Sherlock. Further, to his credit, Kambosos has settled for the distinction of being the division's lineal champion. Okay, he didn't really explain it.
He did not explain it one fucking bit. He just threw out a couple of fights that took place and said, yeah, the reason these fights took place is because we got a franchise belt.
He makes it sound like every single one of those guys in each of the fight has a belt.
Yeah.
Right? They don't. There's only one WBC belt. There's one, I guess. And I don't even know which one he's holding up there. That looks like the Supreme Champion or the newest Broken Chain Champion. I don't. He keeps printing belts
like a Black
the
Panther
U.S. prints money. There you go. Topical humor. He's out of his fucking mind. He is literally. I thought it was bad that his dad played favorites. Now we got a son who just prints.
No, his
belts.
dad was way cooler than him. No, his
way
dad
cooler.
His dad might have been mob. His dad might have been, the cartel, whatever, hooked in with the cartels and everything else. But no, man, this wasn't run like a fucking elementary school.
No, you know what this is run.
Everyone gets trophies. What are they called?
Minor league baseball.
Yeah, participation trophies and little medals.
Well, we're having orange slices after the fight, and everybody gets a belt and a medallion and a T-shirt for showing up to the fight.
And you see, he fucked himself all up when he called Kambosos the undisputed, and then everyone was like, "Wait, I thought Devin Haney was the champ." Then he had to come out, "Oh, Devin Haney is a champ. He's a champ."
One is the lineal, and one is the champion, and the other has the paper mache belt. Get it right.
Yeah.
Hey Lee, and I don't want to get too far away. Are we going to go over the Tank Davis what Floyd said about the live gate?
Yeah, we did briefly there, but yes, the 100,000 pay-per-view. So let's talk about
No, screw the pay-per-views because they're not
They're
Floyd
not gonna release it.
Leonard Ellerby isn't talking about pay-per-views. They're talking about this live gate thing.
Oh.
Did you guys get my tweet
Yes,
earlier?
yes,
Leonard
about
Ellerby
combining. Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think Floyd bought his own tickets.
Wow.
That's the only way they can make him look like a star is if Floyd invests into him, right? Because they said that's what Floyd used to do in his own career. His guys would buy tickets and they'd go out there and they would try to sell them on the strip. Very well known when Floyd was fighting that he was purchasing a lot of tickets himself.
And scalping them or just filling the arena?
Yeah, no, and scalping them. They're his team. The money team.
His street crew. We call it the street crew, Andrew. Get it right.
Yeah, the network.
There used to be stories. He had guys that would go gamble, right? There was a story with the Denver Broncos when they played Seattle. He had like 5 or 7 guys go to different casinos and put down $100,000 bets or whatever. Something that added up to a big time loss. Because Floyd did what did he do that? He did 10 million or 20 million that night. He bet on the Super Bowl, lost it all. Then he came out and said, I didn't do that bet, but all Vegas knew he did. It was his team.
No.
So
go ahead.
We know that Floyd does this. It's not a good look. It is not a good look that they are not talking about his pay-per-view. This is his third pay-per-view fight. Am I correct?
No. I think it's the second, isn't it?
Leo Santa Cruz,
Yeah.
Barrios, and now
Oh yeah. Shit. Yeah, that's 3.
that's his 3rd pay-per-view, and we're talking about live gates. Get out of here.
Yeah, they'll disclose that, right? They'll try to disclose that, but not the pay-per-view buys.
Oh, I'm sure it was a sellout. If your boss bought all the seats, so I'm sure they're going to be like, look, sold out. Woo!
Wow.
They get...
Yeah.
Don't believe it. Don't drink this Kool-Aid, man. This dude was nothing but a joke. He's a 5-time champion joke, a 3-division joke. No, and I'm glad that... I see it. I see all of you guys in the boxing world. Now all of a sudden you're catching it's catching fire about what the PBC is. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but everyone's turning on the PBC. Everyone's turning on Spence. Crawford's been chasing Spence this whole week. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
No. I did see that it came up again.
He's putting out Instagrams, Facebooks. He's all over social media looking for Spence. Spence ain't said shit. Been quiet. Spence put out some shit today about, I called him, he's not answering the phone. Really? Really? It's
like it rang once and then he hung up.
The world's catching on to this bullshit. This bullshit that Fight Net Radio has been fucking pumping in your ears for fucking years. We didn't have to go down this path if you just fucking paid attention.
There you go. Let's see. What can I do right here? I feel like a segue is needed. I'm going to segue. And I'll even put music on it. Hey, go to boxingtonight.io. Check out our social media. Follow me and Miguel. He's at Fight Fiend Migs. His 27-part in-depth series on Floyd Mayweather with really shocking behind revelations. You can check him out on Instagram and YouTube. Amazing content. With that said, let's turn to the fight of the week. Fitting for a Rocky movie. Joseph Parker, my career is on the line. One loser will leave town, and one will win the fight. And somebody will win, and somebody will lose, and it will end in a knockout. I swear to God, they have literally put everything they can on it. My career's on the line. If I don't knock him out, blah, blah, blah. Words, words, words. It's Derek goddamn Chisora and Joseph Parker. Like, talk about the muddle in the middle of the heavyweight division. Both ranked on all 3 of the spectrums, whichever one you want to believe. These 2 guys are going to bang it out this weekend. I start with you this time, Miguel. Do I care and should I watch?
That's my immediate instinct is to say no. But if it introduces the fans to a new heavyweight, I mean, not want to say new, use that word loosely, but a heavyweight that they're not too familiar with, to add another name to the heavyweight division that people might see, I'd say tune in, but I don't anticipate anything to come in.
Andrew.
Look, they did this fight once before. It was a close fight. If you're not doing nothing on a Saturday afternoon, check it out. This is not anything that's going to change the scene of the boxing world. None of these guys are going to come away on the pound-for-pound ranking. So basically, this is entertainment. That's all it is. Filler for Eddie Hearn's DAZN that seems to be just floundering in the water themselves out there, not really doing too much in the boxing world.
We need a better word than DAZN for their floundering. I suppose that's on me to come up with that word. Disheveled? On disheveled.
It's just getting old. I don't know if you guys know, their fights are kind of weak now, man. Seriously, all these foreign English guys, UK, whatever the fuck he's putting on, it's just not working. It's really not. And this fight, this is not going to get any views. This isn't going to do this. Chisora Parker, Joseph Parker is Tyson Fury's sparring partner. That's who the fuck Joseph Parker is, man. Joseph Parker is the guy that got bit by a spider and almost died. That's his.
He didn't turn into a superhero and is starring in a movie on Thursday. Paid for by Spider-Man.
Seriously, that's all they talk about when the dude fights. Oh, he was a lot better before the spider bit him. Oh, fuck. Yeah, whatever.
Well, let's segue right there into a disheveled, DAZN, shitty fight that started off our weekend. Yes, it's that time where we review fights. Let's start off with Conor Ben fucking up Chris Algieri. Now you're asking yourself, what about Chris Algieri? Well, he'll be selling vitamins. from this point forward, and that's about it. I don't think he had a quote after the fight. I don't know where he got this quote, but it was, there ain't gonna be a rematch. No shit, Sherlock. There ain't gonna be no rematch. Conor Benn. In fact, let me tell you how great it was to live through this via Andrew's text. Hey, Algeria looks pretty good. Hey, oh, fuck. The minute I sent that text, he got knocked out. That's exactly what Andrew wrote via text. And it's the funny, like, I was doing something else. I wasn't going to stop my day for that goddamn fight. I'll watch the highlights. As obsessed with Chris Algeria as I actually am. But listening to you two talk about it like you guys got your snacks. You're watching the TV. Oh, my God. Chris Algieri, big step up. You guys are all into it. And Andrew writes, hey, he's looking pretty good. Did I get that correct? It was you, Andrew, who wrote, just as I wrote that, he got knocked the fuck out.
Yes, no, it's true, man. I was watching. I was like, he looks good for not really being in the boxing game anymore. At least as an elite fighter, if he ever was one.
For a vitamin salesman, he looks fucking great.
Yeah, exactly. No, yes, Chris Algieri lives a clean life. He's going to look like that until he's 80. That's just who he is. And I was falling for it, Lee. I was like, hey, Lee doesn't look too bad.
He's actually looks like writing this in real time. I didn't have to watch the fight. I'm looking at Andrew's quotes, and I'm like, this doesn't sound right at all. And then the next thing is, fuck, as I'm writing that, he just got knocked the fuck out.
That beautiful right hand by Conor Benn, though. That was a beautiful right hand.
Well, do you think more of Conor Benn? Was it a step up, or did he beat up a vitamin salesman, which is what I believe this fight to be?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He beat up a salesman at the end of the day. I can't give him too much credit. I was giving more credit to the way Algieri looked than his fighting ability, right? It was just, for his age, for him being out of the big limelight, the dude still looked good. I did not think he was winning the fight. Didn't think he was going to win the fight. None of that was there. It was just a matter of me going, Chris, look, bang, fuck. It was pretty bad. It was like when I hit send.
Miguel.
Well, I mean, yeah, I did kind of fall for it for a second. The way Algeria looked. Yeah,
you two were into it like you were watching the scrap of the year. I guarantee you thought in the first round, it's a good scrap.
No, I certainly didn't think that. But, I mean, considering Algeria looked great on the fucking scale, I thought, oh, shit, he's ready for being, out of the, the public eye for a while as far as, like, in the ring goes. And I was like, damn, he looks pretty good. And then that first round, I was like, shit, caught me bad. Did he fucking win that round? I was like, oh, it seemed like the Conor was barely starting getting into his groove. And then, I mean, that great 1-2 was magnificent. He threw that fucking right, and he just dipped his head to the left slightly and cracked him right down the center. And that was it. But I mean,
I'll give you Miguel's text. 2:22 p.m. 2:22 p.m. Chris Algieri not looking bad in the first round. 2:34 p.m. Oof, that didn't age well. 12 minutes later.
Bottom line.
Do you say good scrap, Miguel?
Oh, geez.
Doesn't translate, does it?
Doesn't translate exactly the same, no.
No, I'm just wondering.
It doesn't.
Okay, which brings us to our last callback joke of the day, even though I lied and said it would be before. Mauro Ranallo joins us. Let's go. Here we go. It's time to play the longest standing show in Fight Net radio history. Can he knock Lee out? With today's opponent, Chris Algieri. Here's how the game works. Chris Algieri's buying beer in a beer line. Lee walks up and is the asshole that he always is. He steps on the foot. They say, what's up? Chris Algieri goes to throw a punch. Our opponents have the option of saying what happens next. If you're playing along at home, and you should be, the answers are yes, he knocks you out without spilling his beer. Yes, he knocks you out and spills his beer. No, he's not capable of even doing that. Today, our opponents are boxing writers, not members of the Boxing Writers Association. We'll start with our first one, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Does Chris Algieri knock out Lee Honish?
Well, considering Chris does live a very, very clean life and is always ready for a fight, I'm going to say yes, he does definitely knock you out. and he does not spill. He won't have a beer. He'll have a shake. He'll have a protein shake in his hand, and then after knocking you out, he tries to sell you Herbalife products.
What's up, bitch? Is that a fucking shake? Are you drinking a protein shake at the fight? You're a fucking bitch, Algeri.
I'm telling you, he's an Herbalife ambassador, and he's gonna try to sell you some stuff from Herbalife.
Well, there'll be a lot of people around. I'm sure we'll draw a crowd once I say that out loud. Andrew, does Chris Algeri knock me out with his protein shake without spilling it?
I love that. That was a good one.
That is a good one.
I'm going to say no. I don't think Chris Algeri's ever been in a fight outside of a boxing gym. I think he would try to talk you out of it, Lee.
Well, we all see what happens when people get hit for real. We saw it in the UFC fight when the female champion got hit for real, and it changed her life to the point where she tapped within seconds. By the way, that's a UFC callback. And if you don't get what happened in that fight, she got hit for real and went, fuck this, I'm out of MMA. And
hey, now, are you talking about the Amanda girl that lost this weekend?
Nunez.
Yeah, that was a real. I noticed that. I seen the highlight. ESPN did a LGBTQ thing for the women or something for the sports, and they had
$10 bill.
Yeah, they highlighted her a lot in it. The highlight of that fight though, it seemed like she tapped out before the girl even wrapped her neck.
Yeah, okay, so Killian was watching it with me. I had another guest, a couple of people watching the fight. Killian goes, fight was fixed. I'm like, nah, bro. She got hit for real. She was going to tap no matter what. She would have tapped after she got hit.
She knew what was coming.
She got hit.
She did not want to go out. She did not want to go out. She said, fuck this. I'm hurt. First off, she ran out of gas because you can tell that bitch was flat as fuck.
They both were, yeah.
Then Pena's left jab or that left hook was just not missing. She just could not miss with that fucking left. And, Nunez got hit. I mean, Nunez, to be truthful, I don't think Nunez was herself. Maybe something wasn't happening. Regardless, she came into the fight ready and got her ass spanked. But that was pretty much it. She knew she got Ronda Rousey. She got, and then once Pena got that arm around her and started to crank on the neck, even though it wasn't really under the chin, it wasn't a choke.
It was probably on her jaw. And when you hear your jaw crack, it's kind of disheartening.
Yeah, so you don't really have to get it in there. But yeah, I still think it was that. I think she knew what was coming. She was going to get worse of an ass whooping. It's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm looking for the door.
I'm out.
I'm out of here.
I'll get the rematch.
You guys are a little bit too nice. You're being a little too nice there. And they're fighters. She's been doing this for a long time. I'm sure she's heard her jaw crack before. She's got to be. I thought it was weird. It was a weird tap out.
It was very weird.
Yeah, it was. It was a little sketch. It was.
Killian straight up watched it and went, the fight was fixed. And I went, you think she bet against herself at 6-1? I mean,
look, listen. If the fight, here's the thing: if you're gonna fix a fight, if you're gonna throw a fight, you're gonna take as little of an ass whooping as possible. She took a fucking ass whooping and then tap. It's like it doesn't make any sense to do it after you got your brain rattled for 2 rounds.
I may not have experience with throwing fights, so let me tell you, the first one that's even in the ballpark, hit the fucking mat. It's a no-brainer.
Take the dive and the story.
Dive. Get your payday and go home. I mean, and then wait a year and then tell everybody you took a dive, and then you won't feel so bad about it. If I had experience with it.
Yeah.
Nonito Donaire didn't need that help. He took out Raymart Gaballo in 4 rounds. There's a theme to 4-round knockouts in the first 2 stories. The Filipino Flash did it again, and they keep doing he's turning back the hands of time. Oh, my God. He just keeps getting better with age. Okay. I still think, let's just call it, Inoue's going to fuck him up again. I mean, I don't know what everybody's thinking here, but Naoya Inoue is kind of the impenetrable object in this particular scenario. And that's what he's building himself up to. Another fucking bloodfest bludgeoning between the two of them. And to be perfectly honest, I saw the fight. He looked really good. It's fucking Raymart Gaballo, okay, who we're never going to hear from again. And we're talking first words out of his mouth. Naoya Inoue. I'm trying to make the fight for Naoya Inoue. It's the only words coming out of my mouth is Naoya Inoue. Why, bro? Like, what is it with you that thinks you've got something? You're not going to get faster. I'm talking real boxing again. I was told I could by our producer, by the way. He's not going to get faster. He's not going to be stronger. If anything, his skills are probably less than the first time they fight. So I learned nothing from the fight other than He's a really good guy, and he's a really good family guy, and I've always thought that Nonito is a good guy. He's done the show, for God's sakes. Anybody who does the show has to have a good sense of humor. I'll start with you this time, Andrew. I get it, but fuck, dude, let the Inoue thing go. That's Jesus Christ.
Well, that's Lee. That's the biggest fight for him. I think that's why he's
think
looking
it's
to get
strictly
that.
about a payday?
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't that what the end of the day? That's what they're all looking for, right? Or the big fights, big checks, and he's earned it. They wanted him to win a title. He's won the title. He's defended the title. He has a knockout over an undefeated contender. Like, he's done everything. He's jumped through all the hoops that he was supposed to get the rematch with Inoue. To be honest with you, it's Inoue who's stalling. It's Inoue who's trying to let Nonito Donaire age a little bit more before he takes that rematch, because it was him in the 11th round that was getting rocked, not Donaire. So I think it's Inoue that's stalling on this fight. Nonito's just trying to get the fight, because there is some confidence going into this one. It wasn't a one-sided beatdown by no means. The first fight was one-sided, and he's 39, man. A nice little, $1 million paycheck at 39 years of age. Not too many boxers can say that.
Well, before I turn it over to you, Miguel, I would like to quote Adrian Balboa. Let me set it up. How much more can any of you take? I mean, seriously, you can't win. All right, go ahead. I feel better about saying it. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's supposed to be an exhibit. Like, somebody's gonna die in this fight. Like, these two dudes are like hammering, and I sadly think it might be Nonito. Like, he's fucking losing his mind.
I don't want to say it's just that, because Nonito he's not the kind of fighter. I mean, again, maybe he's changed. He is 39 now, so maybe his objectives have changed. But like, he's not the kind of guy that just goes in there for the fucking payday. You know what I'm saying? The guy's gonna go in there,
he wants
guns
to win
blazing.
The fight. No,
right,
I believe he wants
right?
the title and wants to be undisputed. I believe all those things. Bruh.
Yeah.
How much more to quote Adrian Balboa? How much more can you two guys take?
Yeah, that's. I mean, this last fight, with Gaballo, he didn't take that many shots. He did get some, but not that many. So he managed to get a title defense in there without really putting a lot of miles on the odometer. So I think it's going to be. I mean, I don't see him winning. And if once he fights, or should he fight, in a way, I don't see him winning. If that first fight, for whatever reason, he surprised in a way, I was like, oh shit, this guy still hits harder so it's hard for being someone his age, and he surprised him a little bit, right? He's not going to surprise him a second time. I don't anticipate, and in a way, still ended up winning the fight in that first one. So if they fight again, I mean, I don't want to know. I don't want to say it's going to be a blowout, because I really, don't really feel it's going to be that way.
Will
but
it be a good
I
scrap?
Okay, bam, here we go. It will be a good script. There we go. This one definitely will be a good script.
That's really what's most important to the Fight Net Radio audience.
Yes.
Which takes us to the Vasily Lomachenko drop, rock, and drop. Drops, rocks, and roll. Sounds like he's on fire. Was Comey on fire? Did I miss this fight? Like, stop, drop, and roll. He does decision Comey. It was, in my humble opinion, 119-108. It was incredibly lopsided, and thanks to the WBC
I'm gonna go out on a limb, Lee. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that writer had predicted Lomachenko was gonna knock out Comey. He tried to put everything in there. He dropped him. He rocked
every
him.
word in there.
He was gonna do that.
Yeah.
He stopped. He dropped. He rocked. He decision.
He socked him.
Everything
He twisted.
but sing a song.
What's that?
Afterwards.
What's that game with the kids where you like twist the thing and then bop it and then hit it and then twist
bop it. Bop
whatever
it.
Yeah.
Bop it. Twist
He
it.
did all that shit.
Twist it. Slap it. Slap it.
He begged the corner to stop the fight. I mean, he did everything but get the knockout.
I mean, they threw the towel, but he caught it and he threw it back, and then there was like a whole thing with cement in the gloves. But, I mean, seriously, Lomachenko did everything he wanted to do in that ring. I mean, he pulled down his pants and he raped them in the middle of the ring, for God's sakes. So, yeah, but he got a decision. Okay, well, that's the key here. He didn't stop him. It still went 12. No, but he dropped them. He raped them. The corner threw in a towel. They yelled funny words, but he still decisioned him. Yeah, but you don't understand. Kind of I do. I watched the fight. It wasn't really that hard. It's Keith Heidick, so who knows? He could have been that delusional at the time. Well, thanks to Jose Suleiman, we have Vasily Lomachenko dropping, rocking, and decisioning Richard Comey. Thank you, WBC president, for taking credit over a WBO fight as well. I start with you this time, Andrew Labouche. Did you enjoy the Lomachenko stop, drop, rock and roll?
Yes, yeah, no, I enjoyed the fight because there was moments in that fight where Comey was getting to Lomachenko himself. The punching power of Comey's was showing up in this fight where it was making things a little bit nervous in some of those rounds, especially the body shots. It really seemed like they were affecting Lomachenko. Overall, I'm happy with the performance. I know, Lopez knocked him out in 1 round, 2 rounds. I forget if it was 1 or 2 rounds. Why didn't Lomachenko did it is like the casuals argument right away. But no, I was nervous about betting on the knockout. I had an opportunity to. I said no because Comey, most of the time, African fighters, they do not play around. They come, they lay it all on the line, and they take beatings. I was nervous on the Comey fight because he was stopped before by 1 punch, but no, I ended up not taking the bet. And he showed up. He took his licking. There was times where, like I said, look, Lomachenko was begging his corner to stop the fight because he was taking a lot of punches, but Comey stuck in there and took the beating like he was supposed to, I guess you'd say.
Champ. You are the champion of
everything. He will probably end up in the Boxing Hall of Fame because of that.
Yeah. Sure.
So.
By the way, if that's a category, we really got to get me into a boxing ring. I'll take a beating if I get paid $5 million and get thrown into the... He took a beating like no other fighter in history. He's eating through a straw now, but boy, did he take a beating and took care of his family getting paid. Fuck.
So, and then as far as Comey, I mean, as far as Lomachenko, it's just another,
day at the office.
Piece to the piece of this puzzle that's making this lightweight division freaking awesome right now. I mean, Lomachenko only has a few more fights left, but if he goes to Australia and him and Kambosos do a huge fight over there, it's just nothing but brighter lights for our sport. So no, I'm all in on Lomachenko coming back in this division, at least getting a shot at the title.
Andrew, why aren't you thinking?
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I think it would have been lesser of a win if Comey would have won that night. I don't think Comey's would have made that big of a splash. Everyone would have just said, Lomachenko's just old. Yeah, see, he's old. He's done. Forget it. It's over. And both of them kind of go away. With Lomachenko winning, no, the star is back. The Matrix is back. All of that gets played out again, and now he's going to make a big fight with one of these other.
Don't sleep on Lomachenko. He'll drop, rock, and sock
one of these other young and up and coming fighters. It's something we talked about last week about the welterweights missing. Lomachenko was there offering it to the lightweights. He's going to put one more time. He's going to put his name on a big card. Hopefully, one of these young guys could take him out, and we move forward.
Miguel.
So I mean, I'm not sure how much. Well, first off, yes, props to Comey for taking the ass whooping. We mentioned another fighter from Ghana earlier with the Zuma Nelson. These guys can just take an ass whooping and they can keep on coming. So props to him for doing what he could. I mean, his corner certainly didn't seem too interested in throwing the towel at any point. It was really more so fucking Vasily trying to get the corner in. Maybe he put money on the fucking KO and he's like, guys, I can't take him out. Come on, throw the towel. I need a KO as shit. So I wouldn't be surprised that was the case. But I mean, it did look. I don't know. My impression before this fight was Lomachenko's going to try to take on Teofimo Lopez's past opponents to try to make him look bad, to try to make his case for a rematch. Right? That's what I figured. Obviously, that hasn't exactly turned out because Lopez has lost his title, but. It did look like hey, High Tech is back, right? He's back. He's back better. We weren't we pretty much counted him out. As soon as he lost to Lopez, he had the issue with the shoulder. We're like, you know what? He's kind of on the downside at that point. We want to say his age, and we thought it was going to be done. But here we are a year later. We're not talking about Ryan Garcia. We're not talking about Lopez. We're talking about Vasily still, and we're talking about him still being the guy to challenge fucking the man at the point, whoever it happens to be. I guess prior to Lopez losing, it would have been Lopez, but now it's Kambosos. So I mean, the fact that at his age he's still able to get, he's still fighting at this level. People are talking about him more than we should be talking about the other fighters. I mean, use this guy as an example. Let's look at Gervonta and it's like, all right, dude, you gotta start fighting other names. Lopez, whatever issues he's got outside of the ring. Same thing with Ryan Garcia. But we're still talking about Vasily Lomachenko. So it was a great performance. I'm not sure how good it looked that he wasn't able to take out Comey. Yes, we always said, we just said a few months ago he could take an ass whooping, but there were a couple of times where I'm like, okay, he's gonna, there were some instances during the fight where like he stopped fighting Lomachenko and then just kind of waited for the bell to ring, right? Like they had that 10-second marker sound, and he's like, all right, that's it. Like, let's start walking back to your corner. It's like, what the fuck, dude? You still got some time. Like, keep going. What the hell? And even the referee was like, hello, guys, the bell hasn't rang. What the hell? I don't know what that was about. It just seemed like he was like, I'm gonna let this guy go a couple of rounds, maybe anticipating it's gonna be able to take Comey out later on, but ultimately that didn't happen. I don't know how much how good that looked on Lomachenko, the fact that he wasn't able to take out Comey, but hey, he's back, right? We got high tech, and like Andrew was saying, he's kind of giving the lightweight division another chance to sort of make a name on him. There's a saying, right, that says steel sharpens steel or iron sharpens iron. We use whatever metal you want to use. If the lightweight division is kind of lacking because some of these guys aren't fighting one another, he's doing it for him, basically. Lomachenko saying, no, fuck this. I'm fighting these guys. I'll fight all y'all motherfuckers if we have to fight it. And he's going to most likely go to Australia for Kambosos. So I enjoyed the fight. It was a very... what's the word? A very classic Lomachenko. It was a one-sided ass whooping. I don't know if I call it a good scrap, but it was really one-sided. But nonetheless, high tech is back, and it was a great performance. I don't know how good it looked, the fact that he wasn't able to take him out, but it definitely puts him in a great position to challenge Kambosos.
I had a chance to talk to Bob Arum, the real Bob Arum, after the fight, and ask him one simple question, which is, don't you think Lomachenko's a little too old to be relevant? And his response, there it is, me asking.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
God damn it, Bob. You just don't like it when I ask questions. Last but not least, Naoya Inoue fought just the other night. And he did, indeed. Naoya Inoue, he's looking forward to another super fight again. I don't know if that would be, in the cards, but certainly it gets everybody one step closer to putting those two back in the ring. He stops Aaron Diapon in 8 rounds. There's only one of us on this show that more than likely watched it, so let's start with him. Miguel, did you watch it?
I watched it afterwards. Like,
okay.
I didn't watch it like live, but I pulled it up on YouTube. I mean, it pretty much was a one-sided ass whooping, and they ended up getting stopped in that 8th round. It was bad. Like, the dude's face looked really bad. Like, he was at his face, his nose was bloody, his mouth was bloody. It was really like, what was it like? This was probably like a mandatory title defense or something like that, because it didn't look like I don't know, Depayan. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. It didn't look like he was able to do anything to Inoue, like, at all.
How is there a referee from Las Vegas in Tokyo? Isn't that a long flight to get a referee in there?
Wait, was this like an actual photo of the fucking fight, or just some
this
stock?
Is an actual. No, it's from the.
It's
MGM
not a stock
resort.
photo.
Wow, how cheap are you, Jake Donovan? Your photo is from the MGM fight in the. Oh my God, this is from the Super 6, isn't it?
I don't know what the hell it is, but
it's
it sure
MGM Resort. This fight was in Tokyo, for God's sakes.
Is there an MGM in Tokyo?
That's hilarious. That is literally hilarious that they didn't even get an actual fight photo.
Yeah, because like this looks
Way to
like
go,
the
boxing
bubble.
scene.
This looks like the bubble, right? That's what it looks like.
It is the bubble,
right? And it's like, I remember there being hella fans in Japan and for the fight, and it was a ton of fucking people there. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
That's hilarious. Andrew, are you feeling super fight now?
No, and I'm actually, it's kind of a letdown. This wasn't on American television, huh, Miguel?
No. I saw it later on YouTube.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that someone who's been declared the next big thing out of Asia, then Mike Tyson of Japan. We've seen his knockouts. He's not on any, DAZN didn't pick this up. That's kind of a shocking surprise. But guess what? Terrence Crawford responded December 14th, 2021. Spence Jr., you lying, saying you called me. Don't do that. That's a bad look when you lie to the people.
See, behind-the-scenes shit to end the show off with. Good job there, Andrew, keeping it relevant to the date we record. Hey, everybody, that's this week's episode. Normally, Andrew disappears, but I'm going to let them throw topics on the table. Here's the schedule. We will do one more live show for the year next weekend, and then we go into Christmas holidays, and we record 3, normally they'd be considered best of shows. We don't do that. We record usually for about 1 hour, 3 shows. And they're usually on topics like we do our pound for pound list. We've done. I was spitballing ideas today, Andrew. Can we do this year for the holiday break? Best hits in boxing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
No,
I guess that's not gonna work.
We're talking about guy tits, right? Like Tyson Fury, right?
Ooh, that would be a fun show.
All right.
If we put men and women in, does it make it less?
No,
sexist?
that's not a fun show. What the hell?
Okay, so if you guys want us to do lightweight rankings or best pound for pound or what we thought the best fights for the year, because that's what all these fucking writers do. They load up on best fight of the year, the best this of the year, the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't really give 2 fucks about that. But we do those shows over the holiday. We do our own versions, and normally we don't ask you, the people who listen to this. You can reach us by going boxingtonight.io. Click on our Facebook link, and I will post up what do you want to see us, and I'll put up some ideas. Maybe Miguel will come up and spitball some crazy ideas, as will Andrew. And we'll keep posting ideas down below in the comments. It'll be pinned to the top of the page. We'd like to hear what kind of show you'd like us to record for the holiday break, because you guys ultimately are the ones listening. We're listening as we do it. Andrew listens again, which I find incredibly insane. I have thought that literally for the last 15 years, that Andrew actually listens to the show again, even though he lived the show. Do you get angrier at some of the shit I say when you listen to the show again, Andrew? See, he disappeared already.
Oh, right on time. Right on cue.
I think that's the cool part, that he actually does that. Well, now that he's not here, and he'll listen to this during the replay, do you re-listen to the show, Miguel?
I don't.
Yeah, good
I
call.
don't. It's just because it's like,
it's creepy.
I mean, I don't know. No. It's long. Like I don't ever really like, unless I drive. Because
I put the videos up now, right?
I know, but I mean, like,
I'll put this up video-wise both ways, the entire show, and because I didn't fuck up the recording today. But I'll also do, our fight review. I think we do a solid fight review of the weekend fights. What do you think we should do? You've been on the show long enough. You can have some creative input. You don't really seem to ever exert that. This is like after the show. This is like the after the show with Howard Stern. This is the talking
yes.
about the show. What would you? You know what? Why don't you pick 3 topics for us to record? And we'll label them. Miguel chooses what we're talking about for the next 3 shows.
For the next 3 shows?
Well,
Jesus.
Next week's going to be live. We've got fights to talk about and shit like that, and I believe there's stuff. Let me scroll down, because you can go to boxingtonight.io. What do we have left for the year? We have Butterbean.
Butterbean's
Ramirez fighting this weekend against Marcus Brown,
Gilberto Ramirez is fighting on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a bullshit fight, right?
And then that CNS chick is on the card.
Gilberto Ramirez is fighting in Texas. That's look, WBA eliminator. Then that's about it for the year, right? We don't have anything.
Yeah.
Gennady Golovkin is going to fight in Japan on the. Oh, that got canceled.
That got canceled. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's not much happening. So that means after we do next week's sort of news show, we'd have to do. We'll put 3 in the can for the holidays. So none of us have to work for a couple of weeks. And what topics would you like? Now, I'm giving you editorial control. Andrew just tells me what I'm doing right or wrong. Sam just tells me if it's funny or not, or I've done it too much. Why don't we go a different route? Content. just pick out stories that have happened that I think I can make funny, more or less. What would you like to see for the holidays for the fans to listen to?
It's I feel it's too predictable and too like everybody else. If we do like the fight pound for pound or like the fight of the year or something like that, it just seems like it's too like, okay, it's gonna do the exact same thing that everybody else is doing. I like best hits. I do like the tits on a guy. I'm not gonna say
right. Would that
want to
not
see
be
Fury. I
a
want to see
great episode?
Adam I forgot his name. The dude just got knocked out. Fat dude, Polish. Yeah, Kalnowski. It's funny to see, or like funniest face getting knocked the fuck out or something like that. Something that is funny, but it's just like not exactly what everyone else does because it's. I mean, like I follow a lot of other accounts on Instagram, right? And they're just once fight night comes around and the fight ends, it's like I'm scrolling through my feed and I'm like, yes, Canelo beat Plant, yes, and I'm just scrolling. They're all reporting the same shit, obviously, because it's the same fucking result. So it gets a little monotonous when it's like the same fucking thing. We're doing the same thing that every other show does. It just seems like a little stupid. But anyway,
we didn't even name this week's show, but it's hard to say. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the Mauricio Suleiman is taking credit for all the lightweights fighting. It's too hard to pass that up. I mean, that's literally the most delusional thing of the week. Or Bob turns 190. Do you think if we put that, people will believe? I always just put shit in the title because I know that the writers are listening to this and they're scrolling and making their notes. Shout out to Jake Donovan. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where that all plays out. All right, well, roll those around. You, the fans that are listening or watching the video, go to boxingtonight.io. First of all, follow at FightFiendMigs on both YouTube and the Instagrams. You can follow me at Lee Honish. More importantly, go to Facebook at FightNet Radio, right? And Miguel shares his content now after I've literally told him for years to start sharing his content. He's now doing it. So you can see it all on the Facebook feed. I will post up at the top. Miguel and I will spitball ideas back and forth and keep adding them onto the Facebook page. I think Best Titties Male is hilarious.
It's like Best Boxing Titties.
Best Boxing Titties Male. So great, right? We could certainly use Holly Holm as the line for attractiveness. Like, if you got a rack more attractive than her, then maybe we'll change it. But yeah, I mean, KO of the year is very common. Top 10 pound for pound is common.
Or fight of the year.
Oh, fight of the year. God, what a pain in the ass. What you guys think is fight of the year is not my fight of the year for sure. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Chris Algieri won it hands down for me, and here's why. It is exactly how Andrew said it, and I literally laughed so hard. I was out and about when I got that text that I almost literally wet myself. I laughed so hard. It was so perfect and spot on. But go to FightNet Radio on social media and follow. And I know the regulars. We do have a crew of regulars. Shout out to all of you. I haven't said any of your names in quite some time, but I know you guys are all still out there listening. You're all still interacting with us on social media. So I appreciate it. I do know you guys are there, and we do care, right? We built boxingtonight.io. We got all the social media cleaned up. We got all the backlinks. We got a news feed that nobody in boxing has. That sounds like a shameless plug for the website. You can also listen to the show on Apple Podcasts. I could have put anything in here. I've just changed it this week to Apple for shits and giggles. But there's always a player on the page. There is always a boxing schedule. Go and enjoy it. That was sort of our present to all of you this year. And we will be back with a live show. And then the following couple of weeks after there, we'll have 3 year-end surprise. Miguel is the editor show. I like that already. The Miguel is the editor. I need to get a picture of you with like your finger, like looking smart picture, like or looking up, one of those quizzical with like a single digit to your chin while you're looking up, going right?
Deep thought and deep thought.
A deep thought photo of you, and that'll be on all the cover art for those 3 shows of Miguel's the editor of this show. And then I'm going to be the most crazy, out of control. It's going to be like Che and Jost on Saturday Night Live of, I'm going to write jokes for Miguel to say that are completely out of control racist about white people. And to me, it will be funny as hell. But, I digress. We appreciate all of you guys. We got the show all the way to 2 hours for you because I know you guys like a nice round 2 hours for your drive. For Andrew, that would be a drive into the city and then the drive back home out of the city while listening to us again. God damn it. That's insane. But I love him and I love doing the show and I love Miguel and I love doing the show with Miguel and we've had a blast. 2021 was hard for everybody. We hope that we made you guys laugh a little bit. We got one more live show for the year and then we'll give you 3 best of. Thanks for listening to Fight Net Radio.